What is up there everyone, it's the guy from the Gaming Tech here, and today what I wanted to talk about is my thoughts and my hopes for Black Ops 3. Now as you will probably all know, I did have a bit of a panic attack as to whether I should or shouldn't play the beta, but thankfully you guys all gave me a lot of good feedback telling me, you know what, you should just play it, it's what the beta's for, and I am really grateful that you guys gave me all that feedback and you were quite supportive, because I really did massively over-escalate that in my head. But generally, I actually really enjoyed Black Ops 3. I was quite surprised because I was not expecting to really enjoy it or think much of it. Because in the lead up to the game, all the hype, I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, yeah, it's just not my thing. And then when I got to play it, I was actually surprised because it was really fun. And it was a big improvement, in my opinion, over Black Ops 2. Because for me, Black Ops 2 didn't work mostly because I had awful issues with hit registration. And it just made it unplayable for me. However, in Black Ops 3, they seem to have almost completely fixed that. I had very little issues with the hit registration. Of course, there were lag spikes, and those are the biggest critique I have with the game at the moment. Was that during the beta, my lag spikes, my ping was sitting around between 10 and 50 most of the time, but then about every minute or so it would just suddenly shoot up to about 400 or something, and that just made the game unplayable every now and then. But apart from that, when the game played fine, it was really fun and I did enjoy it, and it was a very solid game. The game mechanics felt really crisp, I did like them, the boost jumping and everything, it felt fine in my opinion, because it felt to me like you're actually moving faster when you had your boots on the ground. Wall running was also quite good. I kind of like that because it adds an extra little learning curve to the game. Because you can just, first things first, you've got to master the movement, using the jump at the right time, how you can use it to evade scenarios. And then the wall running can let you get around the map in a sneaky way. But there's also loads of secret wall running spots. Any of you who have watched Drifter's video, there are actually some really cool little wall run spots which you can almost get around on the edge of the map. And I really like that because for people like me, I don't mind trying hard in a game. I'm not opposed to people trying hard. And I do enjoy it, but I will only try hard in a game if I actually enjoy the game. And that's the thing, I did enjoy Black Ops 3, so I could imagine myself actually learning all these secret spots and trying to wall run around these areas, which many people won't know, and I just like that extra little learning curve, because it just makes it, and it differentiates between the people that want to play casually and just have a bit of fun, and people like me who do sometimes want to try hard and actually use all the best strategies, and just try and improve yourself as a player, and I think that'll make the game really fun and have a good longevity for me as a player. Now, one thing that's a very subtle thing, and I'm probably going to be one of the only people who comments on this, but I really liked the menu music. Now, something that really bugs me with Advanced Warfare was that menu music, the sort of trumpet. It was just so annoying. It just was really meh, and I just couldn't stand it because it just really didn't have any atmosphere to it. It was really boring, but the Black Ops 3 music sounded really cool in the menus, and that's just something I'm really happy about because I do like a game that has good music, and that bit of music kept me playing, if I'm perfectly honest, because it was just really cool to listen to, especially when you're in Paint Shop, because Paint Shop in my view is also a really good feature, but having that music in the background made it just easier to go through and spend time in, because the music wasn't annoying me, I was actually really enjoying listening to it. Now, in terms of Paint Shop, I did, as I said, really enjoy using it. It was quite fun putting all like the emblems and stuff in your gun. There maybe could be a little bit more variety, which I'd probably expect they'll add into the full game, but it was quite fun to use. My only critique of it is that on some guns, especially like the Weevil, there's a lot of gun that you could customise, but you only got a very small section on it to actually customise, and it was kind of disappointing in some guns because it was just like, you could do something so cool, like all these like amazing looking camos and stuff, but you just don't have much space to do it. Now, I'm not going to say this breaks the game or anything, because it really is just a small thing that some people are going to have a lot of fun with, and I personally think I could, but it was just something that really did niggle me a bit. Now, of course, one of the things that is most talked about is the specialists. Are they overpowered? Is Reject broken? Blah de blah. Now, what I'm going to say here, in my opinion, none of the specialists are overpowered. They're all situational. If you go in behind 5 people looking the other way with a Sparrow, you're going to destroy them, and you are going to have an amazing moment. But at the same time, if you run into the same 5 people and they're looking at you and you have a Sparrow, you're going to get destroyed. It's all situational. There's a good situation to use it and a bad situation to use it. Even though I never played against it because I only played 2 days of the beta because I then went on holiday and never encountered Reject, I personally think the way they nerfed it was overkill, because you may get the one annoying moment where you've killed someone and you didn't notice they were in reject, even though it should be pretty easy to notice. But then you'll always forget the fact that all the times that you killed them when they didn't have reject, the amount of times that they've had their streak ended because they'd either already used their reject or they hadn't earned it yet. You can't say that something's overpowered because once in a while it annoys you. It's just the fact that if you've been caught out by the situation, that's your own fault and that's just bad luck. You can't really put that down to a broken thing, and kind of they nerfed it into oblivion. If they're going to nerf it at all, I would have said, and this was an idea that actually Fieldmouse brought up, was the idea of it just taking away some of your score. Maybe one kill, take away 1 kill's worth of score, and I think actually that was a really clever idea of a way to nerf it. But in my opinion, all the specialists were pretty good and they were all situational. The one that I found to be particularly weak was the kinetic armor, and the reason for that was the fact that you could destroy it with 9 bullets. And 9 bullets really doesn't take very long to happen. If for instance you have a weapon that fires at 500 rounds per minute, which is a pretty slow firing gun, in 1 second you fire 8.3 bullets, which means that you can be killed in less than a second, or the armor can be completely destroyed in just over a second, simply because of the 9 bullet thing. I think if they took away that feature or increased the amount of bullets, then it would be much more useful. I found that its main bit of counterplay was it really doesn't last for very long, and you are still vulnerable to the head. So I really think that having that 9 bullet limit really did kind of ruin the kinetic armor, because it just generally gets destroyed, and considering it seemed that shotguns, each pellet counted as a bullet, you can still get one shot by a shotgun because it just destroys it straight away. And I really think that would be an easy way to buff the kinetic armor so it's actually useful, is to just simply remove the amount of bullets it takes to actually destroy it, and just make it so that you are invulnerable to damage on your chest whilst the armor is active. Now, contrary to popular opinion, I actually prefer the map Evac. I really did enjoy the map Evac, and in general I did enjoy the maps I played. Combine, some people said that they didn't like it because you seem to be able to get shot from a lot of angles. I didn't really find that to be a problem. I kind of liked it. It was fast paced and it kind of flowed very well. I also found with Hunted it was a good map, but it was just sort of so-so. You'll generally find when you play a game that you like the maps you can do well on, and Hunted was kind of a 50-50 map. I'd have some games where I just went in and destroyed people, and other games where I just really didn't do much at all. But for me, Evac was probably the map I liked the most, probably just because it has all the cool wall running spots. But in general, I was happy with the map design, and the spawns on the map didn't seem to be too bad. I had a couple of really odd spawns where I got shot instantly at spawn, and there are a couple of spawn trap spots, but I didn't find them to be too bad because generally I was playing against solo players, and it meant it was actually quite easy to get yourself out the spawn trap because you could kill them quite easily. Now, in terms of gun balance, I found it was pretty good. I didn't find any guns that seemed particularly overpowered. The Razorback did seem quite strong and very reliable, but at the same time I'm not going to say it was necessarily overpowered yet because, as I said, I haven't really had much chance to play the game. But one thing that really I did like in the game was how satisfying the guns felt to use. All the animations, the way you actually like sort of flicked the mag out and put the new one in, and the sounds it all made the guns feel really satisfying and badass to use, and I really liked that. It's like being in a movie, and it was just something that made it really immersive, and I did really enjoy it. And overall, I was just very impressed with the Black Ops 3 beta. I did really enjoy it, and I can imagine myself playing this. However, the lag spikes are enough that if that was in the full game, it would break it for me, and I would not be able to play it. It would be unplayable if I had the same issues with connection that I had. However, overall, I was really happy. I just won't be picking up the game at launch. I'll be seeing what everyone else says and if this issue has actually been fixed. But anyway, guys, I want to hear what you guys think of Black Ops 3 because in my view, it is a very decent game. It's one of the best Call of Duties for a long time from what I played. But anyway, this has been the guy with no gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.
We'll be right back.